Okay. So, uh, hi. What's up?
Hello. Yeah, so I guess since the last time you played, um, it was mostly just like bug fixes and changing the ability usage economy a little bit, which I think I'm gonna change again. But
I
I'd
see.
like to see someone play it.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I saw you. So first, I see you have the text on the left for everyone. I don't think that was the case before, right?
okay, yeah, you mentioned that. I
Yeah.
figured you may as
Okay.
well.
And then I also see you fixed the click bug. I also saw the new options here, so that's useful.
I think
This
that
is just.
disabling the COT effect will help a lot with the eye strain, especially if you're
What
playing
was
like
CRT?
like
Was
full
it
screen.
like?
Um, if you uncheck it, it's like distorts pixels that
Oh
are
yeah.
over
Okay. So this
text.
is like the aberratic from my I don't really remember the name anyways, but
Yeah,
CRT I think is just the old monitors anyways, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Something I noticed accidentally is I clicked daily and it filled my daily because it looks like it starts a run immediately when you click it, even though you may not know what it does. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
what you would
I should
want to
let you
do
exit out.
is have like a roll button inside. Like you click this and then you have like start a run, and it would say
That's
that
true.
uh, this run is reset. I guess another thing that you could do is you would not restart the run. I guess that might be difficult with your code setup probably, but you could make it so it doesn't restart the run if you go back to menu, and you actually have to like
Yeah.
click a button to restart it or something.
Yeah, I think the reason I had it so it's checked up one is because like the whole map is generated when you click on it. So like if you don't like the map and you leave, it's kind of like re-rolling.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, I noticed
yeah,
that.
I should probably do something like that.
And that would be fine, I think, if not the fact that you have a daily limit. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, I think the daily gets boring pretty quickly if you do the same one over and over. So I kind of like the limit, but
mm, I see. So I don't know.
maybe it doesn't mean doesn't really matter.
I don't really know how I feel about having like a daily thing because it's like trying to generate cheap engagement with the game or whatever. But I don't know. I haven't played it, so maybe this one is like some exception to the rule or something. But
I thought honestly, I just added it because I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about dailies, and I was like, oh, I could just add
I see.
dailies, and it'd be kind
Mm,
of weird, and it took like an hour of work. So
right. How did you feel about actually implementing it? Did you learn something new?
um, I kind of for my game, I kind of learned that certain because the characters are totally generated randomly in the daily kind of there's like certain things where like if you get like the zoomer ability zoom, I need to make sure I like generate the character to have more movement,
Yeah.
and there's certain like ability combinations that um, just make no sense if you're
Right.
together, so I had to like make all these exceptions. Like I learned a bit about my game, but
I
and
see.
also that yeah,
So it's
my
basically
code is
like
not amazing.
the underlying archetypes between like abilities. So like if you would have the same archetype of the ability, you probably wouldn't want them together because they would do the same thing anyways. I assume is
Yeah,
like
stuff like
one
that kind
thing,
of.
and then yeah, the statistical stuff where like your stats might not synergize with the abilities. So yeah,
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
And
That's something we talked about for doing for Onitor, where like we have this old random like progression stuff, and we were discussing how we want to make this intelligent so it doesn't feel bad, so there's like decisions actually are meaningful, and it's not like you get bad decisions, like things that don't fit you at all, or like it's just like preventing bad randomization from ruining a run or ruining the experience, right?
yeah, I was listening to someone the guy who made Not Words. It's like a Sudoku-y like word game, and they were talking about how they were generating um, like the puzzles each day. And it's kind of the same thing where they like created an AI to detect like bad like randomization, and it like would remove those, and then it
Oh
also
yeah,
learned
it's like
patterns that make good randomization, and it like made sure that there was enough good inside a
right.
puzzle.
It's like a validator, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It checks if the run can be played. I think that's something that Jonathan Blow has for his Suckabon game. I remember seeing him like test all the levels and stuff on his stream.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
something.
it's smart. I wanted to do that for my game, but there's like a tiny bit of randomness that can make uh, the levels not consistently play through the same. So
Right. And you would also, I guess, have to simulate the humans as like AI or something. So you would have to assume like decisions and whatever. So that might be
yeah,
difficult for
it will.
a complex game.
It's actually so I made it like technically the players execute actions the same way AI do. So
Yeah,
like, but
yeah.
I just like fill. But you know, whatever. It is. It would be very annoying. I can't do replays because I don't want to code them. So it would be
Mm.
super useful for debugging crashes. Though,
Yeah,
if I
true.
could.
How do you set, how did you set up your like game loop? Is it like delta time based where it's like variable frame length or?
Pretty much, yeah.
I see. Yeah, for Antiquate Era, we learned from like Broodwar basically that we need a fixed time frame, mostly for
Yeah.
networking, but it's also
That's
just
fine.
handy in general. So, and
Right. So I did take your another suggestion. You said so the first time someone plays, they don't go to the screen. It just like jumps into the game with the.
I see. Okay. I had some thought. I think I lost it, but we talked about. Anyways, I will just pick something so I can get into the game. I saw I have now Spooky Man, which is looks like a ranged character, right? Shoots rain, yeah, range attacks, yeah.
Yep.
I'll pair him with maybe maybe tough guy, since old man probably like there's probably not much synergy with charm and old man,
Um,
but I don't know.
yeah, maybe more like Hex with Old Man if you really need to like nuke someone down, you get the extra damage. But that's about it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, it's I don't really like I'm not good at this game yet, so it's just I'm
I know.
guessing what can
No,
be.
it takes a while. Like some of my friends that have played it, it's I don't know. I just want to be like get good, and then, but obviously, the game has to let you get good before you hate it.
Right. Okay, so let's see if I remember how to play. Oh, I see. I don't know if this is new or it was there, but there's like a visualization where I can then go after moving.
Yeah, yeah. I changed
Interesting.
it because otherwise it's confusing. I think thought this would make some of the interactions make more sense.
Yeah, and then I also discovered at some point that I can actually right click.
Yeah, yeah. I need to have like a little how to or like controls or something. Uh, but I haven't made that menu yet.
And it'll take one damage. I guess I could
Oh,
have
I
played
also
it better.
changed. Oh wait, maybe it's not on this version. I may
Oh,
have changed how
I
thorns
see. The
work.
basic is now infinite.
Yeah.
Epic. No, wrong order.
Yeah. So I actually, I think initially I had it so the level doesn't end until you want it to. So like after you defeat everything, you get to like walk around and open all the chests. But figured it was more fun if you just.
Yeah, I think
see,
you probably chose correctly with it not like with it ending, because that means you have to decide what, like, you have a decision. Do you want to like trade off some health for some additional loot, or do you want to just play it safe and skip some loot maybe, right? Especially when there's a lot of loot.
Um,
Okay, let me
Kind
try
of.
to read this. So this is RNG.
I know you. I it's weird, but I actually like really like the little 50% ones. But I think that's just like personal preference.
Now
Even
I
if
know what's
is
like
kind of
appealing
worse, you
about
know.
RNG is that like it's like exciting. You don't know what's gonna happen, but it's just like
Yeah.
I feel like it corrupts a lot of like the essence of the game, where it's like you can't really like you wouldn't know if it hits or no, so you can't really make a decision. You can't really learn from this because like oh, it just
Yeah.
decided it wouldn't hit. So was it my error or was it not?
Yeah. Yeah. For this, like, I tried to make it so you always have a baseline. So like it's always like an added bonus if the RNG hits well. You're like, oh, that's awesome. It's never like I
I
need
see.
this to. I
Yeah.
mean, there is one. Yeah.
This is probably fine for tough guy. Maybe even Spooky Man, because like I imagine I could position him offensively, and I guess I wouldn't want to stay in the lava because that would mean I think I take 1 damage per turn in lava, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is probably better for tough guy, which would be mobile, and then Soul Steel is, I guess I'll just get this on Spooky Man and see what I get, and now I'm just going for more NG.
So if you hover on the bottom left, go for RNG now. So like you can see, it gives you back like one charm and hex, so one of your secondary abilities every level
I
also.
see. Okay.
So it's like a yeah, auto replenish
So
as
this
well as
basically means that this is actually neat because do you cap this or is this always one?
it's always one the replenish.
Okay, so that's actually really neat because it means that you can either use 0, which means you will get one more next turn.
Yeah.
You can use 1, which means you're at the best baseline. You haven't really you use what you had and it's fine. And you can use 2, which means you're basically borrowing from the next turn, right? So
Yeah. So I was thinking a little. So I haven't changed the levels to be a bit bigger because I think a lot of them do need to be bigger. Um, but with the infinite main attack actions, and always getting one replenish back, there needs to be like more things to do with your abilities now. So like the levels have to be more like I don't know, because the item scarcity before or ability usage scarcity made you have to think a little bit more about your turns. But now you can kind of it's a little bit more forgiving, so you can kind of mess up for a couple turns and you know I don't know. Not sure what I'm getting at, but
yeah, I feel
um,
like you definitely saw the level where I was like struggling because it was so small. Like I think it was the slime level, right?
yeah,
It was
I
really.
think
I mean, maybe it's not like maybe it's not problematic for some classes, but for my setup, that game it was pretty bad.
so. If you click on one of like a chest or a crate, now there's like a little bit like more info. So if you click on units, um, usually it'll tell you like some
I
like
see.
adventurer notes is
Okay.
kind of like giving you tips or like you know like someone wrote an adventure log the last time they were in the dungeon, and this is what they discovered about you know.
You know what? There's some UX feedback I can give you in a sec, but yeah, I saw you went with my suggestion. I think it's really neat,
I
especially
like it.
with that thing that you decided that like levels end when combat ends, right? Because now it means that you can actually plan for oh, there's like teleport. I actually want to like maybe take 1 damage or something before I kill this
Yeah.
guy, so I can get teleport because I really like teleport, or I really need teleport or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's neat.
Yeah, it's definitely because before, like, I feel like people were hesitant to get chest, or they would always open a chest, and now that you know, it's like it just becomes part of your plan. It's like another, I don't know,
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I think that's neat. But okay, the UX thing actually is related to me being confused because I always left clicked it to select the action. And what I would suggest
Yeah.
you to do instead is use this panel for your characters too. So if you left click and just make it so when you right click, you actually get the descriptions too. So you would get the descriptions here, right?
So I used to do that actually, but I didn't like that the would cover up the map, so I felt like it was harder to like visualize what you were going to do if part of the map was
I
covered.
see. Well, what you could
Um,
do. Oh, I guess it's not always true because some levels are bigger. I was thinking that maybe what you could do is like move it back a little bit to the right? But then maybe it's not that
yeah,
great. I mean, this one
it's
sort of
definitely
does it,
something I
right?
haven't. Yeah, it's uh, it's definitely something I've been. Oops, just like threw my headphones away. I've been like working with, struggling with is like the making the UX look good always, which it doesn't. But
Hmm.
and I think right. So, and the other version of the economy, build the economy usage that I was considering is what's it called? I'm thinking of like starting you with like 12 usages, 10 or 12 usages of your main ability, and just always giving back 2. And from like I've tested it a couple times, and you pretty much never run out, but it's still like uh, incentive to use your abilities in a more like
You mean
creative
for
way.
the primary attack, like the range attack or
Yeah,
whatever?
exactly. So it's just like automatically giving you them back, and then with the infinite, I feel like it forces you to be less creative about using items because you always have a choice of you always have the choice of just like always attacking. Whereas before it was like if I attack, and I'm gonna have one less attack for like when I really need it, so I'm gonna use this item in a creative way,
I
like
see.
save my resources. Um,
Yeah, it's not like you would really want to skip an attack a turn. Like, it's all, I guess it's a primary action. So I guess what I would suggest instead of doing that is probably just focus on what's called opportunity cost. So basically, since those both use primary actions, just make it so like I guess items don't use actions at all. Is that true or?
yeah, so your main action will use an. It depends on the item. It depends on the item.
But it can
If
either
it's
use one or the other, or
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Most of
okay.
them use a bonus. Some of them that are really good use an action.
I see. So basically, what I would try to do is just make that opportunity cost higher. So you don't want to spam attacks if you have something that is creative and like just make it more encouraging, like encourage and intensifies, have an intensive for using
Yeah,
the items more because if they are satisfying then instead of having an unsatisfying limit on the primary thing you just make the items satisfying so you actually want to use them as right now like this trap for example it takes more setup to like actually deal damage
yeah,
than an attack because attack is pretty guaranteed and this one requires some like positional setup and maybe tricking AI,
yeah,
luring it or something. So if it like dealt 2 damage or something, I see it actually slows movement. So that's actually pretty cool. But like this one might be fine. But basically like when you make it more uh like the more nice choices you have, the less incentive you have to just spam your attack brainlessly, right? without
Yeah,
phone.
I've been trying to make all of the items be unique, like different from abilities and different from just like deal damage. That's I, don't know, I think it's charm is the best. Now you got like a swole skeleton you gotta deal with. If you click on the little portal guy, I think it'll make.
This one, or
Yeah, I was just wanting to see what it like if it showed up the way I thought it would, which it does. So.
okay.
But next time like an angel pops out, if one does, you should read its adventure notes and see if it lines up with how you thought they were working. I guess.
Right. Your crates have nothing. Okay.
Oh yeah, I think thorn armor works differently now. I changed it a bit.
On cast, so like any action or.
So yeah, if you play it right now, the skeleton will take 1 damage.
Oh, on
And
cast
then-
of this ability, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I should make that more clear actually.
No, that's just me being silly. I think it's clear enough.
Yeah, I mean after you use it, it becomes clear, I guess, which is not really a problem.
Yeah, the heal alloys. So that thing I knew. Flying I knew.
Yeah, the adventure notes just kind of like summarizes. Go on.
Yeah. I mean, just the question is, allies meaning my enemies, right? They don't heal me.
Yeah.
Or do they?
Yeah, exactly. They can heal you if you like charm one. It'll.
Oh
heal you.
yeah. I mean.
But,
have you changed it so you can now throw buffs?
it works the same, but
it's like it didn't.
It just makes more sense because of the because of how like it displays it with like showing less and less of the area you can move. I think it just makes it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. It's just I'm pretty sure when I did this before, it would just like do this instead, like automatically.
So what was happening is you were reaching. So like if you have 5 move, and you were trying to draw a path to that was 6 movement. You could
like
get there from 5 movement. It would do. Yeah, exactly. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you can get there in 1, 2, 3, 4, and you only have 5 movement, so it chose the 4 over the one you drew.
I see.
I need to work on this a little bit, that screen, because now there's only like one option. So I feel like I should display it differently. I don't know. Oh, that's a pretty good one.
This pool, how much range does this have?
It's a bit line of sight. I think it has almost infinite range, but you need to be able to like.
I see. So line of sight meaning like you don't have something like another thing in the line or whatever.
Yeah. The saw will eat you if you hit.
Yeah. Oh. Well, maybe I can. No, I don't think I can do anything about that. It's fine.
It's alright. Oh, you may have gotten.
Do you get another use of the ability or something?
You had Soul Steel. What did it give you? A ranged attack? 'Cause that would be a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just because I didn't change the Soul Steel to not include the ranged attack when it's infinite. So it should have been Charm or Hex. So that's kind of a bug.
Let's see. It's neat I can deal 2 damage when I'm like on one turn with one guy. That's actually pretty cool. It's just I'm using Hex for this turn, so it's something I can only do once on a turn.
Yeah, and some of the upgrades are actually pretty cool for Hex. Like one of them is, if you put Hex on like 3 characters and you deal damage to one, it'll like, tether them, and so they all take the extra damage. Weird.
Oh, nice. This one goes up. Okay. So just teleport here and melee.
Teleport for a token.
Yeah, epic. Yeah, I guess I didn't really read what was there, so that's my bad.
If you charm the angel, it'll heal you. I think.
I no longer
use your
have
attack.
an
Yeah.
action. Will they attack or no?
Yeah. So when there's no other options, it'll attack. Poor guy.
I wonder if you shouldn't like make them be more intelligent, where they would actually like. It's actually very trivial for turn-based games to just use like a minimax algorithm, where they will actually try to do the more optimal move instead of like the.
I kind of like them being a little bit dumb.
I mean, a lot of games have it as like a trait where like, oh, luring enemies is like something you just do, right? But
yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely something to consider. It's just like there's a lot of games that have bad AI, so it's sort of nice to see when there's good AI because then it challenges you more.
That's true. Sometimes it feels annoying though in turn-based games.
Yeah, sure. It's like I feel like it should be reflected by the unit that is having the AI. So like if you have slime, it should probably be pretty dumb. But if you have like a wizard, then maybe they would think a bit. Maybe they wouldn't like walk into the saw or whatever.
There's like a little bit like that where like if you're in line of sight of one of the casters, it'll actually try and like run out of your line of sight and like hide behind a crate or something. Oh yeah, I actually really like this level, but it's kind of just like ramps up the difficulty a bit. I would suggest testing out pull on tough guy at some point.
Yeah, that's something I should do.
Like if you can pull someone into lava if you're in the right spot.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, stuff like that. I think that's kind of like the whole point of my game is like just like doing weird interactions, and not like even interactions, just like using the environment and like
it's just like the skillful interactions emerge from like the just understanding the game and like understanding the simple interactions.
Yeah.
It's just like combining the concepts together to achieve something more.
And like one of them, I guess I probably shouldn't be giving you hints, but so one of the moves that I probably would have made is like I would have walked to the left saw and like smacked it so it went down on its turn.
Yeah, like this one?
Actually, that actually doesn't matter. Never mind. I'm mistaken. Because ignore me. I think you're
Is
pretty
Hex
good setup right
permanent?
now. It lasts for a couple turns. I guess I
Is-
don't tell you how many. Should probably do that. It lasts for like 2 or 3 turns.
I like the fact that he's just stacked, so he will just eat them and heal.
Yeah, I thought it was like kind of a fun thing where I can like put little mucks behind crates and like if you don't notice it, it's gonna be unfortunate for you. But if you like take notice of it early, you can prevent like bad things.
Yeah, I think it's neat because it's just like it would make sense that they would want to eat the thing, so you just have to like try to stop them. And this like the fact that they are behind the crate means that you have to engage with stuff like swap for the wizard, so. I'm sure pulling here is probably good. Although that means I use 2 pulls. That's probably fine since I haven't used them at all before. I'll just do this. I guess I should have first hexed him, but
You probably want to run away a little bit so someone when the skellies can't hit you.
yeah. I know you can't attack on
I think
crosses yet, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Certain abilities like affect diagonals, but like pretty much always it's in a straight line.
That might be something that you just do for like the more mobile characters.
Like melee characters, kind of.
Maybe, yeah. It's like it could be a characteristic of a.
Could just be a upgrade, honestly, modifier.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
that too. Good work. Oh, I need line of
I
sight.
feel like
To move here.
hexing that guy and then charming one of the skellies would be the move, and casting thorns on your tough guy.
I see. Yeah, that's good. Didn't think about it.
Yeah, there's just so many like the order in which.
Oh no. What?
At least there's a pop up now.
So I assume they will just attack each other because he's strong, right? So I can probably just...
So they don't. Yeah, I'm not sure how charm person should work, but they don't know. Don't think he's charmed. They think he's still the bud, but.
Oh, I see. So they basically don't know that he's their enemy now.
Yeah, but you can upgrade charm to make it so like you actually get to control the skeleton, which I think is kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, that's really neat. How do you manage health economy? It's something I haven't really.
There is you find clever ways to heal, or you just you can pull him into the caltrough actually. That should work.
Yeah, I think I will die then, though.
But you have a melee action, so you can also smack him.
Oh. Oh. What?
Oh, you hexed them maybe? I don't know. If you go to the bottom, it'll tell you why in the combat log. You hover over the.
Oh, teamwork.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had that.
But I had that on Spooky Man.
But Spooky Man laid the caltrop, so.
I see. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's neat. I didn't think the trap would work like that, but it makes sense since it originated from the caster.
I still don't really know how to. I think I'm consistent now where all items and stuff like that, if they originate from the caster, they take on some of the attributes, but
It's like, I feel like maybe what it should do is it should inherit the behaviors at the time of casting instead of at the time of when the damage is dealt, but I'm not sure, maybe.
that would actually probably be. So what I want to kind of do is when you're going to attack somebody. Oh, there's no one further to attack these open attacks.
Did you just steal it from me or what?
If you defeat him, you actually get some of the items on his. But yeah, he basically stole it from you. But yeah, I want to show you like the calculations beforehand, if that makes sense. Like, so like if you have all these like damage modifiers when you're like attacking with like
I
a
have to
ranged attack.
actually, one second, I have to make the game be a bit quieter because there are moments where I can't hear you. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so should be fine now.
Yeah, I just want to like show you the calculations of like where your extra damage is coming from when you're like hovering over someone to attack or place an item or something.
Oh, so if I like...
Yeah, if like you were about to pull him into the caltrop, it would tell you like the caltrop is going to deal 2 damage, 1 from the item and 1 from.
Oh, that's really neat.
But I don't know if I think that might be too much work for the amount of time I have left. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not sure how you would exactly do it because you wouldn't want to duplicate all the code for like.
Yeah. I think what I would have to do is like and some of the interactions I can't look ahead because they are like consequential. Like I don't know, he gets moved in one direction and falls into another. Like I don't know, item or trap that you've set and. Yeah, I guess what I could do is like have like a function that just gives you like returns like a struct of the sequence of all the actions that are going to happen, and then you can just kind of display that somehow. But I like this first thing shot. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's definitely like a very involved revision of the code, right? Where you have to,
Yeah,
instead of just running the code, you have to like command buffer it or something.
Yeah, yeah. So I probably won't be doing that. But with the combat log, I can show you what happened afterwards, so maybe. Or I do show you what happens, so you can kind of like. If you're confused, you can always go to the combat log and be like, oh, all these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be definitely need to see that be shown, but it's definitely very involved, and I don't know if it's like I don't know if the cost benefit is that high. I don't know how much code you really have in. So.
Yeah, like I mean, check. I think my like damage function is kind of absurd in size already. So.
Right. Well, you'd have to like simulate an entire tick of the entire turn of the game, I guess. I mean, maybe not turn because it's just one ability, but it's
like one round or something.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah. And nothing's broken right now. Everything's perfect. So I feel like I just shouldn't break everything. Sometimes. Yeah. I don't like this level, but it kind of the variation on another level. Cause that's what I've been doing is I make like one level and then I make 2 variations of it. So like you'll see the same level, but it'll be slightly different because it's one of the extra variations. Oh, you push that little guy into lava.
Oh. Well, that was easy.
Yeah, that worked out. And Spooky Man is just like cracked right now.
Does the pushing passive actually apply on allies too?
Yeah, it'll push allies if they're besides the thing that you're attacking. So you can use it to your advantage, or you can really mess up your.
Let me see. I'm sort of like giving everything to one guy because it seems more
Depends.
powerful as of
Yeah.
right now. But I assume there's like diminishing returns after some point because like if I deal 5 damage per attack, that doesn't really like I just gonna overkill. So
Yeah, and if you get to the end and the guy with all your stuff dies because it's hard to get HP back, then you're kind of
yeah,
like
true.
working with not much.
Caius dies. RNG dies. Okay. Deals 1 extra damage while charmed. Pretty good.
I
All
really
hex
like this one,
units.
but I never use it.
Oh, this one is really powerful. Oh no! I see. So I thought it means that a hex unit will take damage when any other unit gets hit, but it's like you have to hex
Yeah,
multiple units, which is
yeah.
expensive. So this is like very. I mean, it's really good, but it's like if you had
It's hard.
two
Yeah,
tanky units, then it's probably worth it. But
it's good
spending
for
two
boss fights
usages,
actually.
yeah, right.
So you can like take down their ads while still dealing damage to the big boy.
And
It's pretty
this one
niche.
is broken with the new economy, I think,
Uh,
because it
yeah,
means you just accumulate usages.
that's true. Yeah, before it was good because it's harder to get usages back, so you'd want it.
Yeah.
I think I need to do look over all of the upgrades again. And that was a pretty good move actually.
Oh, I guess one thing I forgot about Hex is that it
As a range.
it only has few turns of duration. So if you fail to kill the unit in
Yeah,
time, then you lose it. But outside of that, it's
yeah, but like even right now you have so many of them because you should just get them back all the time. So that's why I kind of need to figure out how to make that. Like I'm thinking a cap. That was nice. Like a cap on them, like even if it's just like 5 max for your secondary abilities, might be better. Like I don't know. I'm not sure. Because Spooky Man has 8 usages of Hex, and I feel like, I mean, you could be using it every turn technically, but you're doing just fine without using it every turn.
I guess another thing that you could do is just have a. So this would be a different economy, but everything has a cap, and it replenishes to that cap every turn. And the thing that you increase is the cap by just investing into it somehow. That could be something you can try, I think.
Yeah. I was really focused on like scarcity, which is a weird thing to say, I guess. So you have 1 HP. Oh, but you're like nuking that guy. But yeah, I was really focused on like making sure the you had a reason for using abilities always. Like you would, I don't know. So I feel like a lot of my game and the maps are balanced around um, the main, like the primary attacks having uh,
Gonna
like
die, I didn't
usages.
think about it, but...
You could probably run away and charm the little skeleton, and hopefully the skeleton goes before the big guy. So if the skeleton
You
goes
can't
first, then he's
charm
gonna
the bosses,
block.
I see.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes
I'm
sense.
makes sense. It'd be a little too good. Nice.
Is this dealing damage?
Yeah. If you try to run over it, it'll actually warn you.
I see.
I mean, you did pretty good this run. I feel like uh, one thing I really like about um, uh, removing the replenish option is that you like your spooky guy has so many cool modifiers now, and you're just like halfway through the game. Um, and I feel like before you only had like 2 or maybe 3 coming into a mini boss because you had to choose to refill your ability usages.
Yeah. I definitely find that character building part where you like customize the character and you try to like synergize it and stuff. That's definitely like more interesting than just having to manage the economy. It's like maybe like if they were parallel systems, maybe they're both fine, but then if one takes over the other, it's not so interesting.
Yeah. Are you not able to move into that corner? I feel like there may have been a bug with the movement.
Yeah, I think I was able to. I just
Oh,
didn't.
okay. Nice. Success.
Yeah, pretty cool. I did
I
wish
think.
this, by the way.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
pretty
very
good.
much. It helps a lot.
Yeah. I've heard it helps a lot. I don't know if that's actually true.
Well, honestly, it only helps a lot if you have 10,000 of them.
I see. Yeah.
I don't. I think I'm gonna have a pretty flat release, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's like it feels like a lot of what makes the release good is not related to actually making the game good and just spending a lot of
Yeah.
money on marketing it. So
Yeah,
it's
and I feel like my game is not marketable at all.
I see.
Like people look at it and it doesn't look like it's not like beautiful. It's not. I feel like just looking at it, you can't see that it's a little bit different than the other games. Or like, I don't know. Maybe it isn't either. Who knows? Lizzie is my favorite character.
Yeah, that's why I was waiting for him so much. Okay, so you're your minion for one. Is minion
What comes out of lay egg?
I see, okay, like oh, it inherits blessings and ability modifiers. That's really cool. That probably means you want to invest everything into him.
A lot of things. Sometimes you don't actually want the modifier on the little guys because maybe it'll like some of them uh, take damage. Like you get dealt damage.
Yeah, you want to be careful to not make some disastrous chain of effects for you, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty interesting.
But I think what I do a lot is I just like turn the little guys into nukes and I just like lay them and I send them off into battle and just kind of
Oh, that's neat.
hang out.
I really like the like emergent effects of like basically depth of like you have few simple things that interact neatly and it's just gonna like it allows you to be creative a lot and like interesting decisions and whatnot. So yeah, pretty cool. I don't think I can do another run, so.
No worries. I mean, this was I'm honestly helpful. Like even watching you play and seeing that there's not a ton of bugs and
Yeah, I think there was one, only one.
yeah.
So.
I'm pretty
Definitely.
never wanted
Definitely
me to play
felt
your game. I
better,
will.
but I don't know if like I felt like I played better, but I don't know if that's just the game being a bit easier or also like it's probably a combination of that.
Both.
And
Yeah, definitely a combination.
so
I think honestly, and some of the level that you got really like ruined you that last time didn't show up. And I think you would have been able to do it better this time. So
yeah, it's just I got RNG'd some pretty unlucky stuff, I guess. Oh,
you definitely did last time. Well, yeah, thanks for playing.
yeah, no problem. Honestly, it's been fun.
great.
So yeah,
Yeah, and good luck with all of your
yeah, thanks.
stuff.